All right, everybody, let's get right to it here. We're going to have a light session today and just kind of follow some major markets, what's going on, let some people pile in. Great to see everybody. NASDAQ's up 320 after an insane reversal yesterday. S&P's up 60. It was higher. It was up like 100 and took it off. So come on in, settle in, guys. Harmonic Pattern Podcast number 412. Let's get to it. Because there are huge things that happen. For my crew and everybody, the little sell-off we just had, this is like a 5-minute deal. Just developed the dot. So I would be looking for continuation. And the bigger numbers are like 57.10. But we have to go to the big monthly chart, which is, I don't know, it's astounding. It is astounding when we look at Type 1 and Type 2 that all developed right here. It's, I mean, harmonically, this kind of action is just as ideal as we can get. And look at the monthly chart and look at that candle. You know, that candle looked a lot different 3 weeks ago. But came down, target one, and that was 48.73 and 56.15. Look, we did it. I mean, we did it. I would say we did it yesterday. Really? So the 1-2 is now in play. Mic is bad. Hold on. No, hold on, guys. I don't know. What do we got going on here? Hold on. One second. Something's clearly wrong. Oh, what a day. Hold up. Deal with me 1 second here. Hold on. Hold on. Something's not right with this. I see that. Give me 1 second to fix this, everybody. Yeah, let me check out what's going on with this. You know. Hold up. Checking. Nope, it's not working. Hold on, I'm gonna have to. Bear with me. It's that kind of day, folks. Right, hold on. I don't know what's happening here. Hang on, guys. Give me 1 second here. Any better? Let me know. Or are we still robot? Let me know if we're still a robot here. Oh, man. I can't believe this. Hold on. It's that bad, huh? Yikes. Give me a second. Let me check if it's something else here. Nope. I don't believe this. Hold on, guys. Let me get this set up. Hold on. Going on? Guys, let me know how that is. We should be better now. Are we better now? Let me hear it. Thank you. Some magnetic or electric. Jeez. Hold on. Let me know. 1 second. I don't know what is going on. Oh, come on. Let's do this. All right. Good to go. Great. Let's get to it, guys. Thank you. The robot has gone. And let's get back to SPY Bitcoin. Bitcoin's above 60, above 97,000, but this is the bigger deal. Great, thanks. I won't breathe. Good domo now. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it resets. I had to do a full reset. It's just got a virus on this computer last week. I had to dump everything and reload, so that's probably what. Sounds groovy. Great to see Rogelio, Michael, Alec, Wayne Batson, Han, Solo, everyone else. Great. Listen, let's do it this way. Get to harmonictrader.com, become a basic member. You guys know the show. And then let's get over to everyone's favorite software program that we're going to deal with today is our free trial to Harmonic Pattern Collection. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com and get the 14-day free trial. I'll give away one today. But let's cover this really insane harmonic test. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen a pattern like this, bullish or bearish, yield such a perfect type 1, type 2. Last time that we saw that was probably the 2008 pattern. And this was, this too started the whole correction in 2008. Let me go back here. Let me get SPY on, because that's been the chart. And my question is this, guys. We have a prior monthly example. And go back to 2008. It was a shark. Pretty remarkable shark. There you go. And look at the difference. The 2008 was not as hard of a down. This is monthly. You go back to 2009 and you had everything you wanted to see. The dot came in, and then the next month it was a flush to target 2. And we talked about why target 1 right now was so critical. But guess what? We're already back here. And I want to highlight at this point, okay? If we're looking at the same pattern, folks, we're like here. We're at 146. I think this is even more severely bullish, where what happened just in the last 2 months was just temporary reaction within this long-term uptrend. Pattern on the 5-minute. Look at that. On SPY, 564. But the monthly is the chart. And so what are you looking for? Confirmation of some sort? You would need it. And with that kind of a rebound, look, one close, one big move above the prior high, 567.42. Then we're already in the process of trying to get back up to the hop. The HSI on the monthly, guys, this to me is the one thing to watch. Monthly HSI. We were kissing it last month, oversold. This is monthly, so that's in terms of like multi-year continuation rally. When was the last time we saw something like this? You go back to 2022. So this is in terms of the whole 3-year outlook. This is your signal. This is the pivot, and you're nowhere close to where. In fact, you're going to get some kind of HSI arrow in the next month, maybe two. That's like there. But in this case, we treat it like a counter HSI signal that's going to be pretty high up there. I mean, 561.48, that's a big number. Can we get above that and maybe go and run to the hop? Because that seems to be how this thing is setting up. The weekly's like this, and that might be a better time frame. But nowhere in this whole scenario do we have some kind of confirmation. I would even say where this is relative to HSI amplified, guys. This week, next week, we should set this thing off to start to make the run to overbought. Still going to be volatile, but where are we? In this whole indicator lineup on the return phase, we're just at the 50 level. Target 2 went on, no doubt. You need a dot. Need HSI, and all of that looks like we go higher until we hit that. And I would say stick on the weekly. The monthly is going to be interesting, but I'm watching a weekly chart, and we should go into a serial bar over bar continuation where 561 is a starting point. And when we clear 561, I almost thought we were going to get it today. We were as high as 560.80, and then push more like 58, 6,000 level, 600 level on the SPY. That's the relative position here. Yellow dot pending. I don't have a yellow dot pending. Even the last bearish dot, all of that is still higher. And that's, oh, we hit that 580 today. Did we hit that 580 today? Because 580 is a big number. I think in the short term, you go there to do the type 2. Here is hourly. All right. 560 for now. But let's think 580. As high as 6,000 on this move now. If we're not of the opinion, and again, I said this throughout the whole drawdown, that this has got pattern reaction all over it, and the immediate bounce off of 482 was as ideal as possible. The low, guys, was 481.80. 481.80, 45 cents. And you're talking 200 S&P points. No, 2,000, excuse me, 2,200 SPY points. That's massive. So push up here. Now we can actually say return phase is over. But still higher until we get some kind of bearish confirmation. And I would break it down like that. I go to the daily here, because the daily, now we're what, 6, 7 days up? And even the daily's got patterns here where target 1 at 580. The targets are higher. The bias is still to play the return to the upside. Let the retracements come in. Okay? It's just pretty sweet. NASDAQ, NQ, weekly. Pretty much the same. In fact, NQ really close. Okay, really close on that weekly level to getting all the way back. This is the stealth. Okay, the stealth type 2 that I talked about. We are still up 20,700. Okay, that's the objective now. Not later, not next year, it's now, because we want to see that return phase go all the way back, form the type 2 while we're waiting for confirmation, guys. If we're even going to get it, the price action will tell us what's going to happen. And I would think we blast through. Okay, Microsoft, Meta, big earnings, big patterns. Meta was a big pattern. Now a lot higher. And NASDAQ with the type 2, that we understand this framework. Weekly. Hold on. Where is it? Yeah, just at the 50 level. Amplified at the 50 level. So critical week, we push higher by tomorrow's close and get above the 50. That opens it up for another probably 6-8 weeks into June, which is what I basically have been saying for a while, that this reaction, first quarter correction, stabilize, and then set it up for the summer rally, and then get confirmation. That could be as high as 21,631 hop level. Why not? Minimum target 2 objective is 2673. Yeah, it really was insane. Who said that? Yeah, Wayne Batson. It really is insane. I mean, this is like, in terms of market strategies and truly understanding like how that unfolded, especially SPY on the monthly, it really is. So stick to the framework, understand that's where we are. We're in return phase. Go back up, XA level 673. Like it. Oh, really quick. The Dow, right back to its target 2 already. I mean, it was just coming back here for 42K reset, retest, 42,076. We're, what, 1,200 points away? Easily get there. But the thing that, again, the 50 level, the indicator understanding of why this is so potentially strong is that we're barely at the 50 level on the weekly. And we can go serial, straight up, higher highs, higher lows over the next, I would say, 6-8 weeks. That really gets going once amplified gets above the 50 level. Okay, absolutely, let's go. I mean, we came through the storm. That's it. You came through the storm. Everyone thought the market would go to zero. We targeted these levels as reaction levels, and we move on from it. I'll tell you what, the other amazing thing here, we had that confirmation, yellow dot on the Dow right here. Open bar trigger was 37,879. The low, 37,830. You can't get any closer than that. So that bar right there, last week's bar, that's your low. That is your true pivot low. Should not see that underneath that bar at all. And I would say even this whole range, we're going to get a nice close into tomorrow with this. Doesn't have to be huge, but just get me a close above that red candle. Would love to see some kind of close above 40,800, and then that sends it back into the zone, 42,076 or 45,658 is possible here. It's generally like that 3,500 point range, but we will know this week. Next week we get big follow through. Yeah, I mean, yesterday was really a Fugazi. Who said that? I forget who said that. Somebody said that in my chat. Yeah, it was a Fugazi. Total fake sell off, like completely throw down move on the open. They load up overnight and then they throw it down. But look, again, we're getting lots of patterns on the 5-minute chart. Type 1, looping all the way back down. Type 2, 39.8, and you go. Check that out. Great to see you folks. What's going on Thursday, everybody? Hit the like button, subscribe if you have not, and get over and become a basic member. Get the free tryout of the software, HPC at sr-analyst.com. Get your 14-day free trial. All right, those are the big markets. One other big market, and then I'll take your shills. Probably going to go to about 1230 max today. That's what I got. Bitcoin. Well. 97,000. We were looking for 96, 97 as like a top end retest. And here you are. What is it? It's a hop level. 96,044 off of the crab. I mean, guys, it's perfect 1-2. It's insanity. It's truly remarkable. Are we going to get this type 2? We go to 2 and then we throw it down. Need a dot. So we're checking back, but you know that you're still 2 bearish weeks before that even happens. So I'm looking, watching Bitcoin. Is this potentially kind of a failed retest, or actually are we going to break out higher? I just want to stick with 97 for now. You know, we went from 70, went from like 96 down to 76, then 76 back to 91, and now a little overspill 97. Where does it fail? I'd say it fails right here at 97. If you start moving, busting up 97.5, 9800, that's how close you are. We'll see that larger run above 100K, 105 for the deeper type 2. It's great, you know. I mean, this is what we want to see to get the rest of the crypto space moving. I really want to see this thing not only up above 97, but we have some confirmation, possible retest like 105. So just understand, we are still up. Bitcoin is still doing this reaction higher. And again, I would think you would see a change in character above that 97K. Let me bring up the other. There's the futures chart. Where's the Binance? There it is. And then here's the other. This is Binance feed. I don't know why the pattern didn't show on the other one. So we have it is technically a type 1, but I'm really surprised it didn't clip it. This really should be a type 2 here. Either way, we're at target 2, really common. We've seen that many times over and over. So that, again, is why 97,000 is so critical. We make progress above 97, get above target 2. I'm not saying that that's happening. I'm just saying probably after today into tomorrow, we should see a continuation push if we're going to go to like 104, 105. So celebrate today. Absolute big victory. But is this the continuation that we want to see? Up $3,000, up 2,900 today. Really nice. Really nice. What do you guys want to look at? What's up, Chip Flipper? He's asking, do I expect these to break the patterns and break out? In a scenario where this is a blow-off, a failed type 2, if we're going to get that, it should continue immediately. Where, okay, we reached 97. We talked about that on Tuesday as our possibility, but we don't retrace. We get continuation. That's important. Wayne wants to look for 120K. The big number, guys, here is, well, the 3 levels are 97, 105, and then 115. Be aware of that. I like what's going on. Again, we have really strong AMP RSI going back into the zone. That's always great for continuation. And then the 50 level, my. Can we pivot back up and then go? This week, get to Sunday. Next week, they're going to tell us about what really is going to happen this summer. We could get a summer run. Let's see. Start cutting some rates, getting a cheaper dollar, but the patterns are all there. I'm not, again, my point is, Oh, we're at a type 2, but it hasn't confirmed yet. Okay, couple more. Let's get into these. You want to look at Google, Wayne? Let me go. I'll circle back on the stocks. Let's just kind of finish up on some of the crypto you guys want to look at, like GRT. I see it. XYZ and CRSP. What's up, Golden Knight? Yeah, let's look at Tau, Bittensour. Let's go. Tau. I'll take it. I'll take it, babe. Yeah, just in a cup. Thanks. There's Tau. Shark. Amazing 150. But, okay, a little overextended. Remember, Tau Bittensour was actually more about the weekly, well, chart daily, but the weekly, let me get that on a longer term, yeah, like MEXC. There you go. Big shark pattern. Thank you. I think 456. And then we'll see. This could catch a bid. I like it. I mean, 177 was there for a second. But we've talked about the AI coins too in recent sessions. You know, last few weeks is saying they're in a sweet spot, like Render. You know, weekly. Now 463. This hasn't even really developed yet. And we're trying to get above the 50 level here. So I like that. I like that little jig on Render. I said this probably 4 weeks ago, that despite all of the nastiness, that was probably the best weekly harmonic pattern setup of anything that I've seen. Still early. Yep, still early. What's up, Lawrence? Let's look at H-bar. We were liking H-bar like 17 and a half. And I do think that has to hold. H-bars like this with the dot. Get above the 50 levels. Again, we're right on the cusp. Right there. With actually a little strength. You know, notice last time we hit the 50 level on H-bar. It was trading 5 cents. And then it went to 40. But the 50 level broke out. But this is where you got the real acceleration. It was like 2 months later. We got a dot 2 weeks ago on H-bar. I think this is a shark to 5.0 where you're currently 19. I think the dot is about 17, 17.3. And you're looking for a push like back to 25 or 30. Keep an eye on that. I like that. You know, I like it. If we can get back to 17.5 cents, that would be an ideal entry for sure. A few more. What's up? Pure Panorama wants to look at VE Chain, VET. And that's, is that a sleeper? Are we going to get somewhere on this? Sitting in this big pattern zone. What's wrong with it is you're just back at all-time lows. But I'll say this, great patterns. Okay, I'm not going to be dismissive of it, but if we can get past these dot HSI counter signals, you go from 2.5, 2.7 to 4.5. And you look to take the profit when you get up there. That's it. That's how we got to come into stuff like that. Non-trending crypto, play them to target ones, maybe target twos. Yeah. Crypto Hammer wants to look at Stellar Lumens. And is Stellar Lumens ever going to get out of this 30 resistance? Because sideways in this beautiful butterfly pattern, I mean, it's really a sweet pattern, but it's not ready yet. We just went counter HSI. So back at the XA level, I would be looking at that. It's around 26.75 cents. Were we down there yesterday? The low is 26.8. So we're close. But I would love to see some kind of retest off the dot of the zone. And that could be as low as like 24 cents. That's it. It just, we're not, I would love to see that make progress. Couple more. Corn Trader wants to look at Trump coin. Trump coin is just the 886. I'm going to be really quick with this Trump coin. But I look, I like what it's done in terms of the all-time 886. But what was that? Hold on. Let me get that other. Let me get a longer. There you go. That was the feed on MEXC. 886, guys, was like 1150. And I would wait. We did the first thrust, obviously, but we ran into a counter HSI. So, 11.5 might be a good entry to size up. This is all first thrust material. Yeah, look, we get Bitcoin above 100K, these can then open up. You get Bitcoin above 105K, your money. And then taking like your minimum objectives to go from like 382, from 886 to 382. Trump coin's got a $38 target. But I think you got more consolidation before that ever happens. Back down, like I said, 11 bucks. Keep it rolling. GRT, let's do a couple more. Like I said, we're going to have an abbreviated session today. I got a couple things to get done, but the graph back at 9 was the weekly there. Yeah, the weekly had an HSI. Not much there, guys. Really. You're running into these counter HSI signals on a lot of them, like right there. So we need to see either a dot or a reset. I would be patient. Something like render is in a lot better relative spot than the graph. Oh, you did? Okay. Well, if you hit 26 on 26.6 on XLM on another brokerage feed, you're close. You're close. Not ready, but you're close. Closer. One or two more. Hey, what's up, William? Cubic. What is that? Is that AI? Cubic. We started talking about this about a month ago. Another counter HSI. Let's wait for that. Like back at 10, retest the obvious HSI dot support, which is 9.5, 9.7. That's a first thrust. Look, Bitcoin needs to be raging all-time new highs to get money to flow back into this lower tier crypto. One or two more. What's up, Wayne? Wants to look at Giga Chad. Yeah. Still along that, but it came under 2 cents. We need to see that thing like this. Just basically overcome that HSI. But look what happened. You retested the daily, beautiful butterfly. Daily confirmation is 1.9. And I don't want to see it much below 1.9. Like if that thing went back to like 1.7, 1.6, I might have a problem with it. But all right, slow, steady. This kind of a thing, we want to see the 50 breakouts. Like Amplified's there. Can we get this to turn up on the daily? Weekly is okay. So eye on that. I mean, that's super speculative. Please. Absolutely as speculative as it could be. ICP, last one. Yeah, another great pattern. Look, with harmonic patterns, folks, this is why we do dot confirmation. And then we respect the fact that if we get a counter HSI like that, it means that this is just a reaction. That's it. It's all you're going to get on this one. So come on back down. 497 currently. I'm thinking 458 as low as 446. Definitely. BTBT and the miners. Yeah, we can look at BTBT. Again, we need Bitcoin moving, guys. Great pattern. Now you have a counter HSI. Yikes. It's going to take more time. That's it. We talked about Riot, talked about Mara last time, and I just think that that is something where these kind of setups really want to wait for them to be obvious turnaround plays. That's it. You know, BTBT, you could do this with pretty much any of the miners. Are we breaking out of that downtrend? It's a starter. You started that about 5-6 days ago, but I'm not doing anything on that until we get that counter out of the way. I think the best one is Clean Spark. Clean Spark is, we followed that for a while. Just not ready. Not ready. Little reaction 7 to 8, or 7 to 9, but that's it. I want to see another retest. Can we get down and get oversold one more time? I'd like that. Couple of stocks. Intel, monthly shark. Yeah, there's a lot of monthly patterns. I mean, big monthly patterns. It's just going to take a while. I mean, you're going to take months to get out of this situation here. There's, what's that? August 24. We have been sideways since last summer. And weekly chart, monthly chart. You got to get these back above the 50. I'm not crazy about Intel. I was getting hopeful a few weeks ago, but it's got a lot more work to do. I really wish this thing would assert itself and get off the low. Yeah, I guess today we've got earnings. It looks super washed out, and you're below the hop. It just is not asserting itself yet. Still long. I mean, I'm still long, still underwater that. I haven't added to that position. Let's see how earnings go. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Couple more. Tesla, sure. Let's run through those big ones. Tesla, guys, I'm liking it. We're still in the bat. We're still in the type 2 return here. What's the problem? It just is taking time. But the thing that has developed, okay, can we get this back to 444 with HSI above the 50 now? And then only thing you're waiting on for real development is to get the weekly above that 50. We've struggled, no doubt. We have struggled with this consolidation in this extended pattern. 1 second. Thanks. We need to thrust above 267 and get a weekly close. I would say close at the high by tomorrow. Weeklies like this, follow target 249. I think 249's critical floor. And then HSI came in about 3 weeks ago, so better development. And it's not 340, it's more like 240, 250, and it's a return phase. This is just like NASDAQ, S&P 500. It's just taking its time, and I would be looking for these kind of setups. If NASDAQ and S&P can do the full return, you don't think these individual ones can really get it? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think I'm having some tech issues today. Regardless. Let's go one or two more. Apple for GoldenEye. You guys let me know if there's any issues, please, tech issues. I'm going to have to dig in and see what the problem is. Apple, weekly, getting above the 50. I don't see why that would not continue. And we're in the daily overbought. There you go. It was a deep crab at the low. And so where do we go? But monthly chart, monthly chart, basically 175. Basically 175 should be the low. 5 should be the low. No worries. Okay. I think I'm going to just wrap up. I've got tech issues, obviously, today. My apologies. If you guys can still hear me, let's give a 30-day package before I completely crash. Next person that types HPC 30 will set you up with a 30-day package for the software and gold membership. Great. Yeah, I get frustrated with that. We'll set you up with that. And then I am going to do a secondary installment of the HPC strategy webinar. I think it's going to be 4 or 5 weeks. Some point early June, first week of June. And then I'm probably going to go on vacation right after that. Planning it out. I need it. I definitely need it. So be aware of that. Who won that? Ninja Footballer. You got it. Ninja Footballer, you are the winner. You need to get over on Discord, and I'm going to put that in. And anybody else that, listen, a lot of people were asking me for the strategy session from last month, back in March. Well, a little more like 6 weeks now. And so all you have to do is jump on the Discord, hit me up on the DM, and I'll send you the link. You guys can watch that. I didn't make it public, but I'm willing to share. Okay, and the next webinar will only be for subscribers, HPC owners. I'll have more on that in the next week or so. Let's get ourselves into May. Let's get through just the next 2 days. I expect up today, up tomorrow, and then we get follow through next week. Looking, it's only mid-spring, but this does seem like to be now in a position to go higher before we get any kind of confirmation. You got it. Guys, I'll be back on Tuesday with a full show. Okay, I got to recoup. Anyway, thanks for today. I appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys. And if you have any questions, get over on the Discord. All right, have a great weekend. We will catch you next time. As always, go get them and have a great one.